Hey guys, Mike here. Today I want to talk about a food vacuum packer, so kind of a gadget for the kitchen. I'm going to talk about the VacMaster VP215. This is a chamber-style vacuum sealer. This is a big piece of equipment. It's very large, weighs like 85 pounds. This is a commercial-style type thing, not typically what you have in homes unless you're just a big nerd and like kind of cool stuff. So we'll show you a little bit about it. You can do all kinds of cool stuff, and one of them is you can actually vacuum pack water if you want to. All right, so let's check it out. All right, so let's start out with something you might be familiar with. This is a food saver. So this is an external channel style vacuum sealer that you can use. And the idea here is this machine will pump out air inside of this channel, and you put the bag, the unopened bag or the open edge of the bag into here, and then it'll suck out all of the air that's in the bag in this chamber, and then it has a heat seal and basically locks it, like that with the air pulled out. Now, one big disadvantage of this, and let me show you, and this is really gross, but this is what happened last time I used it. There you go. So you can see there's some liquid in there. So some juice of whatever it is that I sealed up basically got sucked into the chamber while I was doing this. Now, if enough gets in there, it could potentially foul the pump and everything gets all messed up. So that's the big disadvantage of these types of things. Also, these are cheap. The pumps kind of give out after time. You don't get as good of a seal as you used to have. This one's kind of on its last legs, which got me thinking about getting something a little bit bigger. Now, the chamber, how it works is you put the food in the bag and then put the entire bag inside of the chamber. And then what it does is it sucks out or pumps out all of the air inside the entire chamber. And then, which also includes inside the bag, so the bag is at equal pressure to everything else inside of it. And actually, it sucks out so much that if it creates such a strong vacuum that if whatever you have is not cold, it'll actually start to boil. So you'll see it boiling in there at room temperature, just by the strength of the vacuum that goes in it. So that's pretty neat. And then once the cycle's done, it seals up the bag, and then it releases the vacuum. And what that does is it looks like it sucks the air. Well, in the process, it sucks all the space, out of it because the air is already removed. But when it equalizes, it basically, boom, it shrinks it up, and it's a pretty cool whole process. Now, the big advantage of doing this when you have a liquid is that you can do different stuff. Like, say you want to do a marinade. So let's say you put some chicken in, go ahead, put it in the bag. You can put the marinade in there, seal it up, and then, get it all squinched up and just put it in the fridge. You don't have to worry about it because it's a seal. I use Ziploc bags a lot for that. And the advantage of this is you don't have to worry about that zip giving away, that make a huge mess in your fridge. Also, these bags are cheaper than Ziploc bags, which is pretty cool. Same thing you can do with a brine. You just put that in, make up a brine, pour it into whatever you're making, and that's great. And what's great is these are all pretty sanitary. So once you get everything all in there, sealed up, wash your hands. You don't have to worry about cross-contamination quite as much as you would otherwise because you're not handling, a container of marinade. It's not sitting in open in the fridge or anything like that. And also you can do it with sous vide, and that's what I've been doing a lot of stuff with. You can put something in there, put a little bit of butter in there if you want to put in a little whatever sauce you want, and then cook it in water. Maybe I'll show you a little bit of that in another video. So lots of cool things you can do with this, but probably one of the big advantages is that it's a higher quality pump, so the pump is going to keep working longer than typical. And you can also put everything inside of it and do liquids and all that. The one disadvantage is everything you want to vacuum pack has to fit in the chamber. So the size of the machine does matter because, if you want to do some big hunk of meat or something like that, and if it's not going to fit inside of a bag that fits inside of your chamber, it's not going to work. Where here, if you're using, like a food saver, and let's say you got a big salmon, you want to do a whole half a salmon, or you want to do the whole salmon whole, or whatever you want to do, you can basically go as you can make it as long as the bag that you have, and then here's a roll, so you can actually create your bag as long as you want, and you can accommodate anything you want size. So that's one advantage that the external ones have over the chamber style. You just have to realize the limitations and just know that if you are going to buy one, just make sure it's going to fit, for your typical purposes. So that works really well. Now the VP215, one thing it has over some of the other chamber sealers, it has an oil pump. And the big advantage of this is the oil pump is going to last longer. It's a better pump. It's a higher quality pump. And what will happen with the other style pumps is over time, it'll probably start losing its ability to really pull a vacuum. So it'll have to go longer, or maybe it can't get as strong as a vacuum as it would otherwise. And like I said, it's strong enough to make things boil, at room temperature. So it has a real strong vacuum on it. Also has a little gauge on it too, which is pretty cool, so you can tell how strong of a vacuum you're getting on it. This particular model has two heat tape things, so 2 wires, so you can get a double seal automatically on all of your bags, which is really nice. But anyways, getting back to the oil part of this, the advantage is the pump is going to last longer. It's going to pull a better vacuum longer, where the other ones are going to get weaker over time. The one downside is you got some maintenance involved. You're going to have to replace the oil every once in a while, but that's kind of a small price to pay, to have a really quality machine. And that's the reason why I ended up getting the 215, just for something that should last for a long time, or at least be nice and durable. Even if I decide to get something else, get a big dishwasher size one or something like that, at least I can sell this one and have no issues with it. So there you guys, a look here at a chamber style vacuum sealer. Really cool for doing lots of different food, different things, and I seal everything up with it. We have leftovers, I seal it up because the bags are relatively inexpensive. And it's great for freezers because you suck out all the air. You're going to get less chance of freezer burn. You can get thicker bags, different mil thickness bags for these. So if you want to have a better oxygen barrier properties, you can go ahead and do that. Again, guys, here's a look at the VP215 from VacMaster. Really cool thing if you're into collecting cool kitchen gadgets and stuff. You can you'll find all sorts of things you can vacuum pack. You'll be surprised when you have a cool toy and it can do some cool stuff. So, all right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you got any questions or anything, like I said, maybe I'll do some videos in the future, just show you some other things that I'm doing with this. All right, guys, this is Mike from Insane Great Mac. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, Mike here. Today I want to talk about a food vacuum packer, so kind of a gadget for the kitchen. I'm going to talk about the VacMaster VP215. This is a chamber-style vacuum sealer. This is a big piece of equipment. It's very large, weighs like 85 pounds. This is a commercial-style type thing, not typically what you have in homes unless you're just a big nerd and like kind of cool stuff. So we'll show you a little bit about it. You can do all kinds of cool stuff, and one of them is you can actually vacuum pack water if you want to. All right, so let's check it out. All right, so let's start out with something you might be